Well, hello everyone. This is Martin Payne at North Amber PLC. I'm the product manager for the document management division. And today I'm joined with Robbie Trower, who's a channel account manager for the UK and Ireland for Kodak Alaris. And Robbie is going to talk us through some new scanners they've got coming out. So over to you, Robbie.
Thanks, Martin. Absolutely. So we're going to talk about some of the new devices that we've announced recently in the last few weeks. And go through some of the details of what those new features are and how they compare to the models that they replace, the outgoing models. But if we talk about scanning in general at first, we all know that customers that buy scanners, Martin, they buy them for a couple of reasons. It's, the information that they want to scan in, the documents they put on the scanners, they're important, otherwise they wouldn't be scanning them. But there's typically a couple of reasons why people invest in scanning technology, as you know. Quite often the information is needed for long-term archiving. They need that piece of information maybe for, for legal reasons, for compliance reasons. They are needing to capture documents and records and store that away for, simply having a copy of that record. Another option is they might be scanning to process. They might be extracting some data from the documents. That data is going into another process that's downstream within their organization. Might be like, invoice data going into an accounts payable processing system or something like that. There's a number of different things that people use these scanners for. These are two examples. They cover a lot of ground, but as we know, the reason that people, scan documents is because those documents are important to them, they're important to those organizations. And the important thing is that the scanning process itself needs to be as easy as possible. That's fair to say, because believe it or not, scanning a load of documents in isn't the funnest task in the world, is it?
Absolutely not.
So it's important that people that we deal with, the end users, etc., have an experience that they find to be, productive, efficient, easy to use, all those kinds of things. Because when it comes down to it, scanners that can offer, decent paper handling capabilities as well as, fast and efficient image processing, that can really help minimize the time spent when it comes to digitizing those documents. That's what's key. And there's a couple of things that I mentioned there, paper handling, image processing, reducing time. These are things that are important to that process. It's not just a case of, here's some paper, I need an electronic copy of that. It's about making sure you do the best in that process. And we believe that the new devices, the S2085F and the S3000s, tick that box as the rest of our range does, But where this sits, this is kind of into the sort of, I guess you would call it sort of like the middle part of the range, where we're talking about departmental scanners, slightly higher volumes, not quite production level volumes, the 4000 and the 5000, not quite that level, but still relatively higher volumes compared to the individual, hence the name departmental, because that indicates, a number of different people using it. So we've got a strap line for these new scanners, Martin. We're calling it built for today, ready for tomorrow. And what does that mean? Okay, so I'll start off by talking about what we mean by built for today. And by doing that, I'll just reference some of the key things that made the outgoing i3000 so successful, but also make all of our scanners successful. So starting off with Perfect Page, which is our image processing technology. It enables us to provide to the end user excellent image quality out of the box. Image quality is so important. So many documents that are being scanned will then go through an OCR process later down the line. That might be specific field extraction, or it might be just for full text searching for keywords and things like that. But so many documents will go through an OCR process. The better the image quality produced by the scanner, the better the OCR results. And it was BLI that stated that the Perfect Page on Kodak Alaris scanners produces something like 11% better OCR accuracy than the competitive average, which is good. The other great thing about great image quality is that it can keep the file size down as well. So as the volumes increase and your storage requirements increase, these can help reduce that reliance on hardware storage and therefore, backup and recovery and processes like that. So that's also an important thing. And of course, smaller file sizes means they're more portable as well. It's easy to share and collaborate with them. So lots of good things about Perfect Page, lots of good things there. Solid paper handling, reliability has always been a key element of our scanners that's made them successful. We've got the Twain industry standard connections, which, all those applications that people have been building over the years to drive a Twain scanner is still very much an important standard that we all have to, meet. And of course, our own service and support. We're very strong, an important part of our business. So that's a sort of some key things about what made the i3000 successful, but also what's made a lot of our scanners in our range successful. So I think that's what we mean by built for today. What do we mean by ready for tomorrow? Well, this is where I'm going to talk to you about the new features. What's coming to the table with the new S2085F and the S3000s. So first up, they're more versatile. So they're all getting speed increases. They're all a little bit faster than the equivalent outgoing model. They're all, they're increasing their ADF capacity as well to 300. So the process of getting all of these documents onto the scanner and scanned can be that little bit quicker when you've got larger capacity and higher speed. So it's making that process a little bit slicker, more productive. They're more powerful as well, because what we've done is we've embedded the image processing onto the hardware. So we're removing some of that reliance on the PC. We're not relying on such a high spec PC to do all of that, because the scanner's going to do it itself on the machine. So that's more powerful, and that can lead to better efficiency as well.
What do you mean by a better efficiency? Are you talking about the time you click scan to the image is being released? Does that make the process faster?
Yeah, it can do, yeah, because if you think about it, if you're doing scanning on a scanner and then image processing on a PC and then releasing the images, that's a two-step process. So the scanner creates an image, as it passes it down the cable to the PC. The PC loads up those images, does its bit of image enhancement, and then passes it on. That's two steps. Whereas what we're doing is we're creating the image and enhancing it all at the same time. And so what we're passing down to the PC is already complete. So it means that we can ensure that when we say that something is, 100 pages a minute, it is 100 pages a minute. We're not creating a bottleneck somewhere else, like on the PC, where it's possibly, slowing up because it's not high enough spec to do all that image processing. So it's a more efficient way of doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a department that's doing a lot of scanning, you 100% want a product with hardware image processing. Great.
Definitely, yeah. As the volumes increase, it makes total sense to have that embedded on the scanner. And by moving that role of image processing from the PC to the scanner, we're less reliant on the PC as well, which is good, because that's kind of the way information technology as a whole is going. More people are using more thin client applications or Citrix client applications, that kind of thing. So it does help in those kinds of environments as well. There's more connectivity options. Of course, we've got the traditional USB for the normal Twain and ISA drivers, which is good. But we've also added onto this a network Ethernet connection, so you can put the scanner on the network. Now, what that means is that you've got a traditional sort of Twain scanner, if you like, but you're able to share it with people, because normally a traditional Twain scanner is one scanner, one PC, and that's the way it is. And with these, you can now share them with a number of people, which is great. So 2 or 3 people in a department, they've all got their scanning applications on their PCs. They could share one of these devices. Historically, they might have each had a little desktop scanner on their desks. Now they can share one of these S3000s, which can handle the volume of all 3 people.
Okay, so that's obviously an advantage. If they were sharing a scanner previously, they would have had to have had a device to convert the USB to an Ethernet, like a Silex box, yeah? So there's no need for additional hardware there.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It comes as standard. Also built into the machine is our web API, which means that you can build an application to talk to the scanner directly, because it's basically got a web server built onto the device. And we've got our own distributed capture solution called Info Input, which can talk to these directly. And what that means is that the web application, which is pure thin client, purely browser-based, Martin, can drive the scanner directly across the network, which means you don't need to install the scanner onto a PC, you don't need to install the driver, you don't need to set it up, which means it's a little bit easier to deploy, it's easier to maintain, there's less maintenance on the PC side of things. And again, you're taking that dependency on the PC away even further by doing that. And I think that's a really great feature. It's not just being able to say, put it on the network so we can share it. We're able to put it on the network so that we can drive it from other more modern applications that are web-based. I think that's really good.
Well, yeah, that's certainly the way forward. Everything's going web and cloud. So, you know, as we see more software products come out, you know, they're hosted on the cloud. So that ticks a box there. So,
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And we've also improved the user experience of using the scanner itself. It's got a larger color touchscreen display on it for viewing various options that you might have, such as, you know, scan to email, scan to SharePoint, things like that. So it's a little bit easier to walk up and scan with that kind of user interface as well. So those are the key advantages, the key new benefits of the S2085F and the S3000. Now, if we look at where we've been successful with the outgoing machines, there's many different verticals where we've had a lot of success with the i3000s, and because the S3000s does everything they do plus more, we believe it's ready to tackle all of those verticals as well. And when I say areas and verticals, it's areas, I'm not limiting it to verticals. Yes, there's some really key ones here like finance, healthcare, and public sector, transport, logistics, etc. They're all really key. But horizontal applications as well, like HR, accounts payable, all that kind of thing as well.
Okay. Now, I know that you guys, you know, have a lot of solutions with the capture and the info input. Do you have case studies available that partners could look at to give them, obviously, ideas how to, you know, approach their customers with these type of solutions?
Yeah, we do, Martin. We've got case studies, we've got use cases, we've got other bits of information, got plenty of content for each of these applications, be them horizontal or vertical. So if anybody needs any such information, you know, to help with their sales process, then they just need to get in contact with us and we'll help them out.
Brilliant. Well, the contact details for both Robbie and myself will be listed at the end of this presentation, so you can just get in touch with either myself or him if you're interested in any case studies. So brilliant.
Great stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so let's talk about the specifics. What are the models that we're bringing out? Because I've mentioned the S3000, but I haven't talked about any specific models. Okay. So first up, we've got the S3060. That replaces the i3200. And as I mentioned earlier, it's slightly faster, larger ADF capacity. And of course, it comes with all the new features we've been talking about, like Ethernet connectivity and things like that. With the i3200, we also had the i3250, which was the same machine with an integrated flatbed. And we've done the same thing here because we've got the S3060 and the S3060F, where the F stands for integrated flatbed.
Right.
Okay. And that goes through the range. We've got the S3100 replacing the i3400. And again, we have the option with the flatbed, which is the S3100F. And those two machines are 100 pages a minute. And then we've got the S3120, which is replacing the i3500 with a speed of 120 pages a minute. And what you might notice here is that the last three digits of the model name represent the PPM of the device. Yeah. And obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the F represents the integrated flatbed.
Well, that certainly makes it easier. Now, just a note from me on the flatbed. It says it's for books. I'm assuming that you can scan a book right up to the spine of the book, therefore you can capture the whole page, so it's kind of like scans up to the edge. Is that still correct on these new products?
Yeah, that's right, Martin. It scans right up to the edge.
Okay, so you don't miss any of the page. That's a great feature. So
yeah, absolutely. So the S3000, this is what is classed as departmental scanners, but as you can see, it ranges from 60 pages a minute all the way up to 120 pages a minute.
Yeah, that's more low volume production to me, but I mean, you know, that's mighty impressive speeds if you don't mind me saying so.
I think I agree with you, actually. I think departmental, you know, the S3060, 3060F, definitely departmental scanners, 60 pages a minute, and the next one up, 3100, that's where you're kind of crossing the border of between departmental and low volume production, aren't you? And again, the 3120 is even faster, and you could well be into low volume production at that point. Yeah.
But I mean,
absolutely.
you know, if you're a department that needs to scan quickly and react quickly and scan quickly in short bursts, then, you know, the 3120, you've got a departmental scanner with low volume production speeds. That's going to be the model for you, right? So.
Absolutely, yeah, it's very fast for a machine that compact as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and obviously, you know, with all of these, the other great feature about these and their predecessors is that the flatbed is embedded in the actual footprint. It's not, it doesn't protrude out. It's, you know, it's very compact. It just sits on the top there. It doesn't get in the way if you're doing ADF scanning whatsoever. So. You know,
absolutely, yeah, I like the way that's designed. I agree.
Yeah. So that's good to see that feature still like it is. So,
absolutely, yeah. And next up, we've got the S2085F. So this replaces the i2900, which is always very popular. Really popular machine because it's a high-speed A4 scanning machine, and like the S3000, it's got that top feeding mechanism rather than you know, gravity fed or bottom fed scanner, so it's got that more reliable top feeding scanning like the S3000. That's why it's been so successful, because it's got that reliability, that excellent paper handling. So this has had quite a significant speed bump, up to 85 pages a minute, which is great. And it's got all the other features that we've talked about with the S3000, USB or Ethernet connectivity, etc. It's also got the integrated flatbed as well. Now, this now becomes part of the S2000 family, like the S2050 and the S2060W, etc. And what that means is that this model here comes with the 3 years AUR, Advanced Unit Replacement, like those other models in the S2000 range. Whereas the S3000 is the same warranty options as we had with the i3000, which is, you know, it comes with 1 year's warranty, and we have different service packs for different response times, and we've got the, you know, the 3-year option from new and 8x8 and all those good options that we had with the i3000.
So basically, the model they've replaced, they're actually just taking on the same warranty they had before. But one thing I have just noticed is that you've got so much more features on these ones, more ADF capacity and speed, but they're the same price as the old ones, which is very good. So,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, yeah, looking at the 3000 models, you know, the S3060, which replaces the i3250, yeah, you've got, like you say, you've got those extra features, you've got the speed bump, etc. It's exactly the same price.
Yeah, and you've got hardware processing, etc. Yeah, that's a fantastic. Yeah. I've only just noticed that. That's brilliant. So, Robbie, just one quick question: when are these models going to be available? I mean, I've set them up in our systems now. And I'm about to place an order for some, but when will I expect stock on these?
Well, it's mid-November at the moment, and you should get them before the end of the month.
Oh, fantastic! So they're going to be on our shelves soon. That's fantastic. So
they are indeed, absolutely.
And today's date is the 12th of November for anyone wondering. This is a recorded session, so well, that's fantastic. So
absolutely. Okay, so let's just have a quick summary of what we've talked about so far. So these scanners are ideal for, you know, handling bursts and batches of documents throughout the day within a department. We've taken that industry-leading image quality when we've embedded it onto the scanner, you know, removing that load on the PC. We've increased the touchscreen size. It's now color and easier to use. We've got the increased hopper, the increased speeds, we've got the network connectivity, loads of new things to talk about with these things, and everything that we've got is nicely summarized there.
And I think one thing that fits out, and I've always thought this of this range, is that the footprint is very compact for an A3 scanner, yet they're not compromising on anything there, speed or robustness. I mean, some scanners on the market take up quite a bit of your desk, and that's, you know, not a full statement. Some of them are massive, but these are nice and compact, and I think that's probably why a lot of customers like this range and its predecessors, and will like this range of scanners. So.
You're right, Martin. They're compact when they're not in use, but they're also compact when they're in use. So when you've opened up the in tray and the out tray, etc., you know, they're still quite small. They're still quite compact, which I think is really key. Absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. Well, do you have anything more to add on these? I think we've covered quite a lot here in this short period of time. But
we have, Mike.
Yeah, so
we have.
So we're going to wrap this up, guys. There's going to be contact details for Robbie and myself if you want some more information. But I believe the information is all on the Coda Colaris website now. And Northamber are feeding prices. So, and as Robbie has said, stock's going to be available by the end of November. So we should have this on the shelves very soon. So thanks for everyone who's clicked on the video and listened to it all the way to the end. Thank you very much. And Robbie, thanks for your time. It's been a pleasure, and it's a very good presentation and overview of the new scanners.
Thank you very much, Martin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Goodbye.